Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be in the world. This evening's video was inspired by a subscriber of mine called Ellie, who left a comment and said, sorry I haven't been commenting much lately, but I had a bad fall and unfortunately broke my wrist. And she wanted to know if I could recommend a bag that was easy for her to open and close with one hand. And so I made a couple of suggestions for her, replied to her comment, and I thought, you know, that video is on my list. Before I started making YouTube videos, once I decided that I was going to start a YouTube channel, I thought before I commit myself, I'll write down some titles of some videos, you know, just to make sure that I've got enough to cover me for, say, I don't know, the first 6 months. So I started writing, and I wrote a lot, and it went on, and I thought, right, no problem there. And on the list was a video that I wanted to do for people who had arthritis, like myself, or dexterity issues. And because Ellie left that comment, you know, about her broken wrist, and because this video was on the list anyway, I thought, I'll do it for you now. So this evening, that's what we're going to talk about. How difficult it is to get into some bags, how easy it is to open others, things we need to look out for, particularly when we get older. And, you know, my arthritis is osteoarthritis. I have it in my thumbs and the first 2 fingers on each hand. And it's just basically from hard work. So, you know, there's one good thing, and I always like to think of one good thing rather than lots of bad things. I mean, arthritis is horrible, it's painful, it's restrictive, but nobody can ever call you lazy. Because if you've got osteoarthritis, you have literally worked your fingers to the bone. So, anybody else out there who's got osteoarthritis, good on you. You've obviously had a very fruitful working life and have worked your fingers to the bone. And I say good on you, I mean good on you for working hard, not for having arthritis. I'm having one of those, sorry. I was going to say a senior moment, but that saying sort of, I don't know why. I think because it's sort of difficult sometimes to think, oh, I'm a senior citizen now, you know. What used to be known in the UK as an old age pensioner. And then I just think, no, absolutely couldn't be. How? Why? Where is all the time gone? You know? Anyway, I digress hugely, as I always do. So, let's start having a look at some bags, and we need to find ones that are easy to open. And if you're thinking of getting yourself a new bag, test drive it. You really need to test drive a bag now, because I bought this one from Louis Vuitton, which is the Alma BB, and it was from the collection that they did with Fornasetti. I love Fornasetti. I love Fornasetti designs. I think it's just genius. I loved the look of this bag. And I've had this bag for, oh goodness me, how long ago was the collaboration? 3 years? Maybe a bit longer. And I've had this bag since then, and I've never used it because, zoom you in a little bit. Yep, it's not right. Okay, we're zoomed as far as we can go. So, it has 2 zips. Now, they are quite good zips, but, you know, there's a lot of faffing around. Okay, so then you get in the bag, you get your whatever you wanted, your wallet, your purse, and then you've got to do that zip up and that zip. And then by the time I finish doing all of that, My thumbs are just going, just don't get anything else out of that bag for 5-10 minutes at least, you know, give me a chance to rest. And it's just not practical. It really isn't practical. I mean, I need something that's easy to open, easy to close. I don't want to have to think, you know, if I took this bag out, say, oh, okay, if I'm getting my purse out, what else might I need for the next, you know, 10, 15 minutes, whatever. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So that one will be a lovely bag to look at, but won't be used. So an example of one that's easy to use, and it's from Aspinal of London. Now, if you haven't heard of Aspinal of London, do have a look at their website. I don't believe they have a physical presence anymore. I think they closed their stores. They went through a bit of a financial issue. But their website is very good. Their delivery is quite prompt, and they pack their bags well. You always get them in, you know, sort of a gift box. You don't have to pay extra for it either. The particular bag that I really love, because it is so easy to open and close, is called the Lottie. Now, excuse me while I look at my notes a moment. Now, this comes in two sizes. This is a small one, and there's a much larger one. The large one is 1,270 Australian dollars, and this small one is 1,060 Australian dollars. Now, the thing with Aspinal, they've always either got a sale or they've got an outlet section on their website. These come out in seasonal colours, and at the end of the season, if those colours haven't sold, they'll go into the sale, and they're pretty much half price. So you're going to be looking at about $480, $500 for this one. And this has their signature letterbox opening. And I'll show you what it means. There's the opening is here. I'll show you from the side actually because it's easier. You just flip that up like that and open the bag. Simple as that. You want to close it over there, like that. Done. Done and dusted. It really couldn't get much better than that. Really couldn't. This size I like. I wish they did one in between the small one and the large one, because the large one is quite a bit larger. I mean, I've recently sold a large Lottie because it was too big for me. Now, the only fastening that's easier than that type of fastening is a bag with magnetic dot. I'll just grab this one. This bag is a classic example of a bag that is the easiest, really the easiest to open and close. And it opens just like that, and it closes just like that. It's the Midi Twister bag by J.W. Anderson, and it's magnetic dot, opening and closing. Magnetic dots are there, and here and there. Has, let me just take the stuffing out and show you. There's a very small pocket on the back, just in there. Apart from that, no other pockets. It has little loops here, and it does have a gold chain with a sort of T-bar at the end that you can put through here. But it is so fiddly, I have never used it. It's just too much to fiddle around with. But I love this. I mean, the handle, which sort of forms part of the bag, it's a beautiful design, I think. It's so soft and supple because all you've got here is basically a piece of twisted leather. Like that. And it's just twisted round. It's a really lovely design. I mean, it couldn't be more comfortable. If you have, say, some sort of issue with your hands where you might have a nerve problem, where the palms of your hands you know, hurt. If you hold something like this, so with a hard handle, this is an absolute dream. It is so soft. And also, these don't hold their value. I've seen these on eBay for $300, 350 Australian dollars in mint condition. You know, never been used most of the time. And it's a great bag. So look at bags that have the magnetic dot opening, because they're just, couldn't get any better than that, really. Now this bag is a good example of one that isn't, well, this one is really easy to open and really difficult to close. It's the Longchamps raffia bag. I love the look of this bag. I mean, it is really beautiful. Perfect summer bag. Leather handles. This is made of leather. This is raffia. Easy to open. Just a snap there. Oops. So let's take the, excuse the noise, take the tissue out. There's a zip pocket at the back here, and there's a slip pocket on the other side just here. Now the newer version of this bag is the same, but it has a racehorse and jockey across there in different colours, because that's their logo, which is on the leather tab. I don't know if you can see that just there. So this bag is great to open, but if you want to close it, you can't quite get your hand in, and you can sort of get your hand in and then, you know, and I can't quite reach it to do it up again. If this isn't full, if this hasn't got something flat underneath where that Preston is there, I can't close it. So the only way I can use this bag is just the flap over like that, and it's not closed. And it really annoys me. I mean, if you've been watching some of my other videos, you'll know that I have OCD. And oh, I so wish I didn't have it. It really is a pain. And the other thing is, you can hear it. You're walking along, and if it isn't done up, it rattles like that. You know, just like this. So I have never used this bag, which is a real shame. I bought it, goodness, I bought this one 3 or 4 years ago easily, and it has just sat on a shelf, never used, because it's easy to open but difficult to close. So when you're test driving your bag, do the open and close thing, and do the close thing when there's nothing in the bag, because it's not, you know, in a shop they could probably have it, you know, really well stuffed, so, you know, it clearly defines the shape of the bag, and if it's really well stuffed it probably will close. But if you ask one of the SAs and say, do you mind if I take, or could you possibly take some of this out of the top of the bag, just so I can see if I can close it easily, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. And yeah, learn from my mistake. Easy to open, too tricky to close, never used. You see the noise? Oh, goodness me. If you're thinking, didn't you wear this jumper on Sunday when you did the live? I did. I haven't been wearing it ever since, I just like to point that out, but it is particularly chilly in Sydney at the moment. So cashmere track pants, thick cashmere sweater, totally needed, just not the most flattering, but I need to be warm. So make sure you test drive bags. It really is important. Another nice and easy one is the Rockstud bag from Valentino. This one has the same, it's very similar to Aspinal's letterbox closure. Just flick that open, like that, and it's closed. I love this bag as well because, as you can see from here, you can take the strap off. So you can use this as a clutch or a shoulder bag. And also it has a keeper there, so we don't get the flappy strap thing that really annoys me. And I don't know how long this has been around. I mean, the Rockstud shoulder bag seems to have been around for, I don't know, 6, 7 years, and it's still being sold, and still being sold at full price. It's a great bag. I love it. It's edgy. I know a lot of people think, oh, you know, it's a bit dated. I don't think so. I really don't. And to be honest, it doesn't bother me. I'm not really into, you know, making sure that my bag is one of the latest trends. I do follow trends, and I do buy the occasional hip bag, like the Suburb pochette. Love that bag. But, you know, they don't rule my life, trends, anymore. They used to when I was younger. Oh, boy, when I was a teenager. They, yeah. Just zoom you in a little bit. Yeah, they really used to get me then. So, another type of bag you might look at that's easy if you've got arthritis or other issues are Mulberry bags. Now, 50% of those are made in England, 50% are made in Spain, Turkey. I think there's another country which I don't know, I'm not totally up to date with their current manufacturing process. But they have a classic postman's lock like this. I'll show you from the side there. That sticks out there. And you turn that. So you do need to have, you know, decent dexterity with thumb and forefinger there. But that just opens like that. It has, oops, it has a chain. Oops, I need to zoom you out again. Oh, wrong way. Yep, there we go. Okay, if you can see bags everywhere when I zoom out, just ignore it. I'm making a mess. I'm just, you know, when I've shown you the bag, I'm just literally putting it down on the floor. Just a twist of that, and it's done. And these bags are great quality. You know, these are the sort of bags that will last you 20, 30 years, even more if you look after them. They're really good. And the postman's lock is easy as long as you've got that dexterity here. Okay, so most of the bags I've showed you so far sit sort of in a medium sort of price bracket. You know, not so affordable to everybody. So if you're on a budget and you want a cheap bag, go and have a look in Target, or Target as I call it, because you'll be surprised what you find there. And also, seriously, their shoes, wow. I'm so impressed with their shoes and their jeans actually. However, we're talking about bags. This one I got from Target, reduced in the sale from $30 to $15. It's a dupe of the Bottega Veneta cassette bag. This has got one press stud opening here. Done. Nice looking bag, really. And obviously it's not leather, it's $15. But it has, you know, an adjustable strap. You could get a phone in there, a couple of other items. And for that sort of money, it's brilliant. I mean, I'm not a bag snob. I love my Chanel bags, but, you know, if it's raining, then I'm going to use a bag like this. It doesn't even necessarily need to be raining. I mean, I think it's a great little bag. We'll go with anything. They did these in other colours. They did gold metallic, and I think they did a taupey shade of it as well, like a nude colour. So have a look in places like Target, Big W, maybe Kmart. I haven't been in those for a while, but I'm sure they'll sell bags as well. I think places like that we often overlook, you know, and think that we have to go to, you know, a shop that specialises in handbags. And that's fine if you've got the budget for it, but not all of us have. So, Target is your friend. Love that little bag. Now, another type of bag that isn't particularly easy for everyone, and this is another one from Aspinal. I think this is called the Stella bag. And it's got a magnetic dot, so it opens and closes really easily. But, I mean, this one I wouldn't recommend to Ellie, who's got a broken wrist and needs to be able to use a bag with just one hand, because it's got this huge flap. So you've got to hold the flap to get in the bag. So if you've got a major problem with one of your hands, this isn't the bag for you. So look at the size of the flap, try it out. You know, if you go into a shop where they've got bags behind the counter, just ask, just say, look, you know, I really need to try the bag, make sure it's okay for me. And I mean, I'm fine with this one because it's just my arthritis and I can hold this one open. I mean, you can tuck it behind the strap like that, but, you know, I wouldn't recommend it if you're just looking for a bag that you can operate with one hand. So the size of the flap is important, and this one, as you can see, it goes all the way down to the bottom. Now, another bag that I really like, I've been going a bit crazy over in the sales lately. Oh, goodness. Do you know, me in sales, it's like, I'm like a kid in a lolly shop, honestly. I'm terrible. I cannot resist them. This one is the PS1 Tiny by Provenza Schooler. You might have seen me unbox the electric blue one of these. Oh, and also, talking about seeing my unboxing, if you're enjoying this video or you've watched some of my other videos and you enjoy them, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me, so I really would appreciate it. Anyway, the PS1 Tiny. Now, you could look at this and think, oh, I don't know, it doesn't look that easy. Now, you see, this is fiddly. It was designed for these to be through these loops here. However, because this bag isn't very wide, you can easily leave those undone. It still looks fine, and it's not going to affect the bag at all. This clasp is more than capable of keeping the flap closed, and you just flip it up like that, open the bag. It's a great bag, really is. I love the little pocket at the front. That's a magnetic opening. Well, magnetic closure. So opening or closing? Well, anyway, it's got a little magnetic Prested, you know what I mean. Doing it up again. All you've got to do is find that little, you see underneath here, there's just that it needs to catch on to there, and then you just flip that down. It's a great bag, and as I said, these are on sale at the moment. Now usually these are about $3,500, which is a considerable sum of money. At the moment, this one is on sale on the Proenza Schooler website for 1,162 Australian dollars. I actually bought this one from Farfetch because they'd sold out on the Proenza Schooler website. And I paid a couple of $100 more. I think this was about $13.50, $13.60. But, you know, that's still a third of the price, almost. So, honestly, you wouldn't think I trained as an accountant, because in my eyes, that means, well, you know, you could buy 3 bags the price of 1, because look how much money I'm saving. I've managed to convince myself and train my brain to think that, you know, if that's usually, let's just say $3,900, and I can buy it for, say, $1,100, then I've saved $2,800. Isn't that brilliant? How clever am I? So I always look at the saving first, the spending after, and look, it's not the best way. I don't encourage you to do it like that at all. But I do get a little bit reckless in the sales, I must admit. But Proenza Schooler bags, definitely worth a look if you have dexterity issues. They also do have this bag, which is the PS1 Mini Crossbody bag, and this is on sale at the moment. Well, not this colour, but other colours, on the Proenza Schooler website for 721 Australian dollars. And the normal price of this, I think, is around 2,000. It's this crossbody bag, but you know, you can wear it crossbody, just wear it on your shoulder. This again has the same 2 straps through here that really don't need to be done up. See, it's that easy to open. You just flip that up, and there you go. And that you can close. You see, that's empty at the moment. That is, as you can see there, it's, you know, it's not stuffed at all. And you can still close it. Unlike the lovely Longchamps bag, that easy to open, difficult to close. This one is not difficult to close at all, not ever. So, let me have a look around and think, are there any other examples? I think I've shown you some fairly decent examples of bags that are either easy or difficult. Oh, there is just one more. And this one you'll have seen, and I did a video a couple of months ago called My 5 Favourite Handbags, which will be up here or over there. And this was the one that has been my favourite handbag since I bought it about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a pleather bag from Mango. It's incredibly soft. It feels like lambskin. So this is really easy to put on the shoulder. It's incredibly lightweight. And the fastening is that. Just a magnetic snap fastener. And the size of the fastener really sort of find each other, you know what I mean? You don't have to directly line them up, you know. Some bags have got this same sort of closure the same style of closure, but you have to have them sort of exactly opposite each other. Whereas this one just, you know, closes itself. Absolutely magic. This was $80 in the sale, and I loved it so much I bought another one, just in case anything happens to this one. Now, I think the other type of, oh, let me zoom you in again. Okay, so if you like more of a tote bag, Aspinal of London, again, have this bag, which is the London tote bag, and this is the smaller of the two sizes, and this is the Midi London tote bag. And I'm not sponsored by Aspinal, so not in that league anymore. I'm a very small channel, and I wish I was sponsored by Aspinal. If you're watching Aspinal, look at all the bags I bought. Feel free, do send me one. Just kidding, really. So this bag, if you pay full price for it on their website, is 1,270 Australian dollars. Again, this is fantastic quality. I cannot stress enough the quality of these bags. There's a larger one, which is about, whoops, which is about that much bigger, and it's a fair bit bigger. It's quite an east-west bag, so very on trend if, you know, you want a trendy bag. They're brilliant bags, they really are, and they are super easy. Now, they come with a detachable strap, which, as you can see from the paper on mine, I haven't used, because I don't tend to use the straps on totes. I like to just hand hold them. This is it. Now the opening for this is here. Magnetic dot again on there, and on the inside of the bag, just here. You've got two slip pockets here. On the other side, you've got a generous zipped pocket. You could easily fit a phone in across there. Now, it only does up with that tab across the top like that. So if you're carrying any documents, say your passport, if you're on holiday somewhere, whatever, you have this central zip section. It's ideal for things like that, or if you want to put your wallet in there, you know, to make sure it stays safe. And it's that easy to open and close it. They come with these bag charms. I mean, you can take those off, you don't have to have those on. Now again, this is like the Lottie bag. This comes in different seasonal colours every season. So at the end of the season, you'll find the seasonal colours will usually go into the outlet or into the sale. Now, if you do want to, I was just about to put the strap on it. I've literally still got all the plastic around the. Okay, one thing that I did want to show you about these is, hold on, just let me put one on. Now, the nice thing about these straps is the clasp here that you open to put it on the D-ring, which is in the side of the bag, has got this little piece at the side here that you pull up. I don't like those where you have to push one side in. For a start off, I always end up trapping the skin of my fingers in between the two sides, or the two pieces of the clasp. And the other thing is it really hurts to push that in, whereas, you know, I can pull that up quite easily. The D-rings are on the inside. Oops. got you zoomed in too much. See the D-ring there? And that just hooks in really easily. And I'll zoom you out a bit. Now, I haven't adjusted this strap, so it's a bit on the long side. And as I said, do excuse all the bags and paper that was stuffed in the bags that's around. Imagine this was, actually let me alter it, because
just sit down. I really should have this ready anyway when I take it out, because I mean, the beauty of having a detachable strap like this is, if you think, oh, I'll just take it handheld today, you can always coil this up and put it in the bottom of the bag. I'll actually just shorten this strap a bit.
Now, this is the one thing I don't like, and it's that sort of method of shortening a strap as opposed to a standard buckle. Sometimes these, oh no, actually this one opens really easily. You know, some of them where you have to push them over these sort of studs are sometimes really difficult. This is actually quite tight to pull through there. I guess just because it's the first time it's been used. Oops. Not the best day for doing this, but you know, once it's done, it's done. So, you know, it hurts a bit to adjust it now, but then it'll be fine. So, okay, so that's it shortened. And the handles sort of sit at the top of my hip. Could probably do with being a little bit shorter, but it's so easy to use. I mean, look, you know, and there's everything, and then it just closes like that. It's a brilliant tote. It really is. I mean, when they go into the outlet at the end of the season, you can usually buy these for around $600–700, which is good value. I mean, this leather is beautiful. You've got feet on the bottom, 5 feet. Oh, 5 feet, 5 foot. How appropriate. And yeah, lovely, lovely lining, grosgrain lining. Gorgeous. So it's a nice tote. It's a good one. Okay, so I think I've been through quite a few bags. And my best advice to you really is, like I said, test drive them. You know, if you're in a shop and so they've got a bag like this, but the strap isn't on the bag and it's in the bag and it's wrapped up, ask the sales assistant, you know, do you have one that I can try with the strap? You know, I have a problem with my hands. I need to make sure that I'm able, quite painlessly, to attach the strap here. People are usually pretty understanding, but, you know, you need to give them a reason. If you just say, oh, you know, I'd like to have a look at this, but, you know, can I have one where the strap's already on? You know, the essays, I mean, if they're a good person, they're probably going to say, look, no problem at all. But some people will say, oh, well, you know, the straps are all wrapped up, etc. So I've had people say that to me, and I've just said thank you, but the bag's not for me then, and just walked away. So I think that's about it. I hope that has been of some help. As I said, the best thing to do is to try the bags out for yourself. Find the ones that suit you. We all have different issues, you know. Some people have problems with their thumbs, fingers, other parts of your hand. Don't be ashamed. Do you know what I mean? Don't be ashamed to say, look, I'm sorry, but I have arthritis in both hands and my thumbs. It's difficult for me to do whatever. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed about it. I mean, it happens to all of us. We get older and, you know, it's like driving an old car around, isn't it? It's going to have something wrong with it. We're no different. So, I think that's about it. I think I've waffled on enough. If you would please subscribe and like, I would appreciate it. And as usual, I will thank you so much for watching. À bientôt mes amis. Au revoir et bonsoir. Before I started making YouTube videos, once I described, because the large one is quite a bit large, sorry, and it's the sorry Scott, but it is really fiddly to attach it to the bag. No, you see, I just can't do it.